As a matter of fact, I was so nervous if there is no one in this room. But amazing. Thank you for your coming. I'm ㅅ훈, the mayor of Seoul. Before we begin, let's have some time for ice breaking. I prepared pop quizzes about Seoul. Of course, we prepared some gifts for the winner. Let's start. Okay, the first quiz about Seoul, 629. It's a little difficult. For your information, it is related to the history of Seoul. Okay. Historical landmark, oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Years that Seoul has been the capital city of
Okay, she's very smart. And last, 4. It's related to my political life. Okay. Thank you. I served 4 terms for now. Okay, thank you. Let's start the lecture. It's enough ice breaking. Yeah? As you can see here, my political life has been full of ups and downs. The green part, 2 part, is my mayor's term, and the yellow part is my political absence. Interesting. To make a long story short, there is 10 years of political absence between the 2 times of mayor's term. When I began my mayor's term for the first time in 2006, I was focusing more on making Seoul more attractive. But after 10 years of absence, I was doing my volunteer work in Peru and Rwanda for 1 year, and I realized I had to do more for the needy people. You are looking at the current vision of Seoul. But today, I'm here to tell you how and what we do to help the needy in Seoul. Do you know Korea is very famous for the speedy industrialization and democratization? This picture shows us some symbolic aspect of every advanced country, including Korea, the serious gap between the rich and the poor. The problem is the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Even more, the discrepancy becomes bigger and bigger day by day. Frankly speaking, the fact that I was selected as champion mayor for inclusive growth by OECD recently gave me such a rewarding feeling. But at the same time, I was also surprised to find out that OECD knew exactly what I was doing. As a matter of fact, there are so many policies for the needy people, but today I'd like to explain a few major policies for the socially neglected. This is the first solution for the polarization issue. Don't you think the start line should be fair? Everyone in this room knows the importance of education. In Korea, however, students need to get extra help from the private sector, so-called crammers, in Korean 학원, to go to better college. This is the main culprit of the big discrepancy between the poor and the rich. So it hit me, how can I help those poor students? This brought me to the academic assistance program called Seoul Learn. This assistance program provides the needy students with famous instructors' online lectures, studying materials for free of charge, along with collegiate mentors. So we are trying to increase the number of participants for the program next year. We've done it a little over a year now, and it has produced fantastic results. A total of 461 participants entered universities through this program this year. I strongly believe that if I can change even one life through this program, that money is worth every penny, and I will not spare any money for doing it. This clip shows the effect of Seoul Learn. 서울시는 제가 장담하건대 반드시 프로그램을 더 확대하고 지원을 더 늘려갈 생각입니다.
공부를 하면서 하면서 아이가 성적만 오르는 게 아니라 이제 공부가 자신감이 생기니까 아이가 달라지더라고요. 일상도 달라지고 성적도 달라지고 학교에서 생활하는 것도 달라져서 중학교 2학년이 돼서는 그 학급 회장 선거를 나가겠다는 거예요. 원래 그런 애가 아니었거든요. 그냥 조용히 학교 다니는 그런 아이인데 갑자기 이제 학급 부회장이 돼서 굉장히 큰 변화라고 제가 생각하고 있어요. 그리고 이제 공부에 재미가 생기니까 좋아하게 되고 열심히 하다 보니까 더 공부하고 싶은 게 생기고 하니까 이제 서울과학고 영재교육을 자기 가고 싶다고 지원을 해서 그때 시험도 보고 해서 합격해서 다니고 있어요.
How do you feel about the clip? It's such a rewarding experience to me. And I know there is someone like this in this room. Here comes the real deal for the socially neglected. It will change all the current welfare system forever. If this safety income system becomes successful, all the current welfare system, might be antiquated. In the current welfare system for the poor, even if you have opportunities to work more and earn more, you hesitate, or you can't work because the minute you work more than the government's set limit, you will lose all the right to be aided. So, in the current system, people will not want to work more and make more money. They would rather stay in the cycle of being poor and not work anymore. But in the new welfare system that I am experimenting now, people in the poor boundary will want to work more and earn more. This is the comparison picture between the current welfare system and safety income system. Once they are selected as help-needed people, we will monitor how much they make every month and supplement them with the money they need if they don't make enough money. And we will stop giving them extra help if they make enough money to live. But even though they are not provided with extra money because they worked harder, their status of getting help doesn't change until they actually graduate from it. This kind of experiment is very common in many countries, many cities, including Seoul. This is the outcome of the past 1 year of the new system. There is a picture of professionals commenting on our experiment. Now, let's talk about the medical care system. At this point in time, I think I need to say something about Korea's healthcare system. I can dare to say that our system is far better than yours. Please don't kill me for this. In our current healthcare system, the richer pay more and the poorer pay less. But the poorer get far more medical benefit from hospitals and doctors' offices. Even with all this benefit, as mayor of Seoul, I am trying to build more city hospitals for the people who are in need of help. This policy gives me another pride. Nowadays, people do not starve to death because our government is taking such good care of them in terms of food. In my opinion, at this point in time, we need to do something about their will to survive on their own, because it's far more important than the food. I've tried to give those homeless people the opportunity to take some liberal arts related courses at colleges. Upon finishing the program, they will be treated the same way as ordinary college graduates. The same graduation suit and the cap and everything else. Believe it or not, about 70% of participants in the program survived the courses and left the colleges with ever higher self-esteem. Now let's take our attention to the world. You know, we had a horrible conflict with North Korea about 70 years ago. If we hadn't received help from the UN, I wouldn't be standing here and talking to you like this now. We can't forget the very much needed, enormous help from other countries at that time. And we are the only country in the world that had help from the world before and is giving the help back to the world now. This aid money we gave wasn't much in the beginning, as you can see, but as of this year, we are increasing the amount of aid money dramatically. And also, at the same time, we are sending out more volunteers to the world. You know, I'm one of those believers that it's far better to help the needy by teaching them how to fish and not just giving them a fish itself. What a coincidence. The initials for knowledge sharing program are the same as Korea sharing program. I hope this transformation of Korea can give inspiration and courage to many less developed countries. This is what we are doing to help underdeveloped countries become more self-sufficient by growing rice more productively. This is possible because Korea could develop easier rice to breed to survive in destitute African countries like Rwanda. We are making every effort to solve the starvation issues in Africa by developing new rice breed, and it has been very successful so far. I myself stayed in Rwanda for 6 months in 2014. At the time, I helped the city government of Kigali with the issues such as industrialization and welfare systems. While I was there, I was able to witness a highly successful case of growing rice more effectively in the remote village of Mushimba. In the new village movement, so-called 새마을 movement in Korea, about 5 volunteers worked together as a group for a few years. These volunteers led dramatic changes in the mindset of the villagers. They took the initiative and set examples for the villagers. The locals slowly but surely learned how to grow rice. And finally, they realized the true meaning of diligence, self-aid, and cooperation. These 3 principles, diligence, self-aid, and cooperation, are the spirits of the 새마을 movement that were the fundamentals of Korean development. On the other hand, this is sharing knowledge and experience of Seoul. We are sharing our knowledge and experience with 61 cities in 35 countries. These are various examples of sharing our best practices around the world. According to the news, quite a few cities, including the city of New York, is benchmarking our way of processing food waste, which is being turned into fertilizers, animal feeds, and sources of energy. In Seoul, you can pay for one low price of public transportation and you can take the subway or buses as many times as you want. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I announced the new policy of unlimited use of various transportation systems, including buses, subways, and bicycles, and in 1 year, Riverbus, for only $50 a month by benchmarking Germany. Its name is Climate Companion Car. As you all know, Seoul is a world-famous smart city with stronger infrastructure ever now. There's no question about that. And last year, we launched the Seoul Smart City Prize. So far, 240 cities, corporations, and organizations around the world have applied for the prize. And shortly after I return to Seoul, the World Cities Summit Mayors Forum will be held to award the prize. At last, this is the last page of my presentation. Can any of you tell which one is me? Yeah, this is me. I was 7 years old, and I was with the hoodlums in a poor neighborhood where I used to live. Can you guess why I'm so crazy about going together with the socially neglected? As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, I and the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, met and drank together. And at that time, we found out many common things about our childhood background. At the time, he told me, his mother said, hard time makes strong man. I totally agreed with him. It's one of the main themes of today's lecture, I think. Actually, today's theme was a little serious, isn't it? So I prepared a video clip, 1 minute short, about Seoul. Thank you. Thank you for your listening.